Okay, so a year and a half ago, I switched from my Magic Mouse 2 that came with my iMac Pro to this. This is the MX Master 2S from Logitech. Now, this was a pretty big change because I didn't know anything other than Apple products and Apple related accessories, and it was very nerve-wracking to switch over to something that I didn't know. But a ton of people had recommendations to switch over to the 2S, so I did, and I've had a really good experience. Unfortunately, I never made a video about the 2S, but I wanted to make a video now on the MX Master 3 mouse from Logitech and share with you my experience of the MX Master kind of lineup that I've switched to, and show you the differences between the 2S and the 3 and why I think the MX Master 3 is actually one of the best mice that I've used ever, and something that you should consider because I cannot find any problems with it. So let's get into the video talking about the Logitech MX Master 3. Okay, so this is the MX Master 3 from Logitech, and it looks very similar to the 2S, but there is definitely some very minor changes that have been made which make improvements on the 2S from Logitech. So the first thing that has changed is the body geometry. Up near the top two buttons, the geometry has definitely changed. I'm not exactly sure why. I didn't really have a problem previously, but obviously for ergonomic purposes, they have changed the design. Now, there's also a difference with the status indicator. It has now moved from the side of the device near the bottom portion of your thumb to kind of the top where you can see it more easily during use. But unfortunately, the 3 bars are now gone, so you can't really see your battery status unless you go into the Logitech options software. Now, another thing that has changed is the forward and backward buttons on the side of the device here. Obviously, this is a main focal point of the mouse simply because these are your secondary controls with the horizontal scroll wheel and also the forward and backward buttons. Now, previously, the forward and backward buttons were kind of stacked on top of each other, and the buttons weren't really discernible. They were very hard to find and very hard to reach with your thumb. You'd kind of have to pull back to reach the backwards and then still pull a little back to reach the forward button as well. Now, there has been a big change with the MX Master 3 in that the layout is completely different. They're a lot more discernible. They're definitely easier to press, so you don't have to wonder if you've actually pressed the button, and they're a little bit more plush, so you don't really have to press really hard. I think the biggest point is that they are in a better, more neutral position, so you can access them more easily, and then also go to that horizontal scroll wheel a lot easier with your thumb, going from forward to backward buttons and then onto that horizontal scroll wheel. So it's a lot better experience on the side of the mouse here. Now, the next big change that has been made is to the main scroll wheel here on the front of the mouse. This was something that a lot of users had complaints about with the 2S, and Logitech listened and made those improvements on the MX Master 3. So the scroll wheel performance has definitely been improved here on the MX Master 3, and the feel of it is way, way better. It's also a little bit more quiet versus the 2S simply because it has a new electromagnetic technology inside the scroll wheel, which actually activates and deactivates depending on your scrolling speed and what mode you're using in regards to ratchet mode versus free spin. We'll actually have our own sound test on screen here, so we'll kind of press all the buttons on the 2S and compare it to the 3 and show you how that scroll wheel specifically has definitely been a lot more quiet here on the MX Master 3 and how it might be a little bit more efficient than the 2S. So one of my biggest gripes with the MX Master 2S was it still had a micro USB connection type. And micro USB is something of the past, something that people are trying to get away from simply because charging speeds are definitely lower with a micro USB cable. It's a little bit less efficient simply because the micro USB connection type is well known to break down a lot faster than any other connection type. And it's just something that not too many people are using these days because everyone's switching over to USB-C. So it was really nice to see that kind of Logitech has phased out micro USB on their 2S, and now switching over to the MX Master 3, Logitech is using USB-C connection types. So one of the great things about switching to USB-C is you're switching to a more universal connection type that pretty much everyone has these days. But what's also really cool is that you're actually getting more features with this connection type switch. So when you switch to USB-C, you unlock the ability to get fast charging. Now, fast charging is really famous on phones and everything like that, but it's also available on the MX Master 3. So you can actually get 3 hours of use via Bluetooth with the MX Master 3 on 1 minute of charge, which is absolutely amazing. So if you're in a pinch and you really need to use your mouse, just 1 minute of charge will give you 3 hours of use and go on from there. Now, what's also really cool is obviously durability is going to be a lot better with the MX Master 3 over the 2S. I know a lot of users were complaining about the 2S connection type breaking just because it had that micro USB connection, which was a little bit less durable than USB-C. So this mouse should definitely be lasting quite a long time for you. Okay, so let's switch back to charging, more specifically battery life with the MX Master 3, because battery life is a huge topic, especially with a wireless mouse like this. We've been accustomed to seeing wireless mice not really last too long during use, but we're actually getting 70 days worth of battery life on the MX Master 3. That is the same as the 2S simply because you have the same battery size between the two mice. So 70 days of use is pretty good in my opinion. I really have no gripe with the battery life. The only thing I do have a gripe with is you can't really see your percentage unless you go into the Logitech options software, and even there it's just bars. So that's the only thing I could suggest to Logitech in fixing, is maybe being able to see battery percentage or having kind of this status icon give you a more accurate representation of your current battery status. But you should be getting at least 70 days of use out of the MX Master 3. Now, I did mention the Logitech options software. That is free software that comes with your purchase of the MX Master 3. You can get it from Logitech's main website, but it's absolutely amazing software that kind of allows you to customize the experience of your mouse. So one of the greatest features with Logitech options software is it allows for installing different profiles for individual applications that will have the controls of your mouse change depending on what program you are using. I'd say that for editors, maybe using Photoshop, Final Cut Pro, or any editing software out there, this would be a great feature to have because you can customize your favorite controls to your mouse, which will only speed up your productivity during use. The rest of the Logitech options software is fantastic. They have so many customization options. So if you don't like a specific part of how your mouse operates, there are many other options to change to make the perfect user experience for you. So guys, that is the MX Master 3 from Logitech, a very good kind of upgrade over the MX Master 2S, which was already a fantastic experience. Now, if you guys haven't really tried out the Logitech ecosystem, I highly recommend that you do. They have very good high quality products and their software is absolutely amazing. I've never seen any other products match hardware and software together like Logitech has. One of the great things about the MX Master 3 specifically is that you can use it for anything from very light productivity to hardcore editing. Light productivity like Excel spreadsheets, you can have a very customizable experience to make your productivity kind of like as efficient as possible. If you're doing hardcore editing like Final Cut Pro or Premiere, you definitely have the options within the Logitech options software to customize your experience to make your editing experience a lot better and just a lot more efficient as you go on those long editing sessions. So when I say that the MX Master 3 is truly for everyone, I really do mean it. And of course, if you need any more information on the MX Master 3 or any other products from Logitech, there's a link in the video description down below. Of course, if you want to comment anything in the comment section down below, or you have any questions, please feel free to do so. I'll get back to you guys as soon as possible. So guys, thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, leave a like in the like box down below. And of course, if you want to stay up to date with our content, get subscribed and hit that notification bell button to get updates on when any future content is released. So hopefully I'll be seeing you guys in some future videos, but until then, I hope you all have an awesome day.